as I understand it, he only has 1 meter, and it's a standard residential meter, correct?
He's being billed, for the house and for the motel, because it's like 2 units there. I mean, there's eight
Okay,
hotel
but it's
units.
all on 1 meter.
I don't know, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter if it's 1 meter or not, it's the gallons that he uses.
And
That's
he's
what
not
it's being
gonna,
billed for.
I talked to him after the last basketball game, and he was, pretty upset about what's been going on with his billing. We talked about water, and that really wasn't much of an issue, and I told him that there's not much that we can do in what we're proposing, because if he had an oversized meter, he'd be seeing a reduction in his water bill. That really didn't seem to be the big issue, and maybe you heard something different. The issue that he proposed to me is his sewer. And he says in the wintertime, he's got very little income, and he's being charged however many RUs, 3 or 4, whatever the RU number is.
4 is what he told me, that's why, but,
Right.
okay.
And so what he was looking for is a way, and I know because I brought this up repeatedly, could we adjust the RUs on a quarterly basis or on a monthly basis, so they would be true up to what the use is? And there really isn't a good way for our program to do that. It's not really designed for that. And frankly, I don't know of many systems in the state that do that true up the RUs on a monthly basis. So, the important thing for him or any other user is to use as little water as possible, because every year we recalculate the number of RUs, and when he drops below that threshold, he would lose an RU that he wouldn't have. So he's making his money in the summer. The problem is he's seeing this bill in the wintertime when he doesn't have the income coming in.
But the way I understand what he's been talking about is he's got 3 sewer lines and three sewer bills and 3 water bills for the motel, and the other one for the house. We've got 4.
He's charged 4 RUs for the motel, I know that.
Yes.
And
So
that's
then
based
he's
on the
being-
gallons of water.
He's been charged for 1 water and 1 sewer per 2.5 rooms.
It's based on gallons of water.
It's based on how much water they use. It doesn't matter how many units that he has. If it was an apartment, it would be different. It's an apartment complex, it's for each of the units. But for his use, or any other hotel, it's how much water they use totaled up through the year, divided by the REU number. And that gives us how many REUs that we apply towards their sewer charge.
He told me he was getting 4 different bills, 4 different charges.
He's being billed 4 RUs. 1 bill, it's 4 times 36, whatever it is.
Yep.
He's not getting 4 individual
Bills,
bills,
right.
he's getting 4 times the monthly rate.
Because he uses a lot of water in the summer.
So then, is the new motel being billed the same way?
Yes. Now, the difference there is we didn't have a first year to calculate how much water they use. So we assigned a total number of REUs for the hotel for the first year. Now, when they've been open for a year, we'll be able to go back and figure out how much water they use, and we'll assign the number of REUs to them.
You have to have the history in order to have a true number of RUs. But if there's a leak, an outside faucet that leaks, a toilet that leaks, in those motel units, he could be going through a lot of water, which makes his sewer usage be higher. So it's kind of a responsibility of that business owner to find ways that he can reduce his water use.
Right, but that's an if. I mean, if the spigot is leaking, that's an if.
Well, but
But what he's concerned about is paying water and sewer for 2.5 rooms.
he's
It's
also
based on how
paying,
much water he's using.
in the summertime, maybe he uses 12 rooms worth of water, but he's still only paying for 4. It's a year's use. It's the whole year's use. He doesn't get charged more in the summer and less in the winter. It's over the whole year's use of water.
How many RUs have been assigned to the Locan Inn for this first year?
They're at 4 right now.
4? Which will be revised after the 1 year.
Correct.
And in our sewer ordinance, there's a formula that we're supposed to go by in there. Like if we had a new restaurant that opened and we didn't have a history for that, but we knew how many they could seat, it would tell you how many RUs to charge. So that was designed many, many years ago to help us, start out with a rate that's fair to someone until we know for sure what their use is.
And that's a standard way in the business to do it.
Absolutely.
So that revision would be either up or down.
Correct. Same with windswept. If we get done with this year and find that they've used less water, then we'll have fewer RUs.
So basically that becomes a capacity charge in a way to make sure that there's enough income to handle what it's gonna take on the other end, or, producing that water.
Absolutely. Correct. It's how much you're contributing to the waste stream that goes into our facility that we have to treat. There's other communities that have higher strength users, cheese plants, things like that.
For the sewer, but for
Right.
water, there's a capacity that needs to be produced, treated, and delivered to the customers, and that REU cost has to accomplish that, or make that capability possible.
Right, that's the theory behind the base rate.
The base rate.
Yeah.
Is that, we can produce, I'm just pulling a number out, twice as much water, but our fixed costs, the cost of running the plant stay the same, whether we're producing a time and a half or 75% amount of the water. We have this fixed cost that doesn't really fluctuate with how much water we're selling, and that needs to be made up for in the base rate.
And that's why we left the water base rate alone. And we're able to reduce the meter, or take the meter charges out, which will really help, many of our customers.
So getting back to the sewer, where do you live? La Crosse? You live in La Crosse?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
No, I live in St. Paul.
So how do you get billed up there?
Quarterly.
For your water
Yep,
and sewer?
I believe so. Oddly enough, I don't pay that close attention to my bill.
But you go through the Met Council.
No, it's this, St. Paul Water Authority has.
Not the sewer plant, though. They go through.
Oh, yeah, I
the
mean,
website.
yeah,
Yeah,
but my bill comes from St. Paul Water Authority.
right.
The reason I ask that is because I asked a couple people who know a relation of mine what they pay, and they're down to about $50 a month for water and sewer combination.
Once you get to a bigger city, it's
That month.
becomes it's just becomes cheaper per customer to provide water and sewer access.
As I was looking at this, struggling with the relationship or the explanation, I guess, of the conservation rate or the effort by